Alright, so Parasite, eh? Well, I was going to review this movie sooner or later, and I just finished my fourth viewing of Parasite, and it's a really good movie. There's a reason why this movie has been, rated the best film of 2019, and currently has, a 27 on IMDb, which is really... And do I think it's deserving of that placement? Well, yeah, at the moment, I think it is. I do think it is that good. This is a movie that is going to mean a lot of things to a lot of different people, because I don't actually think it's possible to completely figure out what the movie's about. I know when I kind of watched it for the first time, it kind of felt like The Cabin in the Woods. Like, I felt like maybe the house was twisting around the people, but no, the house is stationary of as much as I think it is. I don't think the house moves. I'm going to spoil this movie, okay? I'm sorry, but I just can't talk about this movie without giving away major plot points, if you can even call them that at the moment. I don't know. Blame it on COVID. Blame it on COVID. Blame everything on COVID. I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna read out everything that I've written about this movie. Okay, this is my review of Parasite, or my, my analysis, or whatever the hell I'm going to call it. Multi-dimensional cinema, the next step in filmmaking, visual storytelling, an impeccably surreal, absurdist drama comedy. I've watched this film a total of 3 times now, first with English subtitles and twice without. I have absolutely no idea what this movie is supposed to mean, but it feels like 2 social classes clashing against each other in a very strange yet interesting house. I'll admit that I've never seen a Chinese or Korean-made movie until now, and Parasite is the first film I've ever seen filmed in Korea. But the sheer artistic direction and enigmatic structure of it all is incomparable to any other film I've ever seen come out of that year. A very select few movies that come to mind that has a plot structure or story direction that I can even relate or reference to this. I can only guess what the main theme of the score is supposed to mean. I'm listening to the music of the Blu-ray menu as I'm typing this, trying to decode meaning from the notation structure of this short yet extremely memorable part of the song. I'm still trying to decipher what emotion this theme is trying to convey. Could you say that the film has a serious tone? It's hard to say. This movie definitely has a serious tone, with a very strong burst of violence in the final 15 minutes of the movie's running time. But the theme is surprisingly happy and carefree, even joyful, yet overshadowed by an ever-lurking hint of sadness that never lets go. The sadness, melancholic feel of the movie is always present throughout, despite the emotional roller coaster that the surreal, absurdist drama comedy film only known as Parasite takes you on. This short theme is actually very true to emotion in real life. Melancholy can never fully be escaped from in so many facets of life. True happiness can only be achieved in fleeting moments, and sometimes only in short bursts, only to fall back into the stabilized state of emotional equality that is where most people reside in most periods of life. Never truly happy, yet depressed or sad, simply reasonably content. The third light at the top of the stairs, meaning to me, is the unstoppable and indescribable drive to try and achieve a high state of happiness beyond normal human comprehension. An emotional ascension, which can only be heard in the main theme as you really start to sit down and think about the music in the film and start mulling over the notes in your head and how they really make you feel. How does the theme make you feel? Happy, sad, melancholic, confused, joyful, maybe all at once. Maybe none of these emotions are good enough for you anymore. Did you ever think to yourself that you deserve a high state of feeling that you already wanted but could never grasp? If there is such thing as an afterlife, or heaven as I call it, how would the souls there live there feel like? I would expect it to be a high state of what most of us experience in life. The rock to me is an object in the movie that symbolizes the emotional weight which all the characters, I was about to say creatures there, okay, revolve around and are affected by, which also radiates a strange gravitational-like force that influences them, kind of like Sauron's ring from Lord of the Rings, but in a different way. The true form and meaning of happiness is something that is always in my mind when I think about this movie. What is happiness, and what is it supposed to mean? And who are the brave enough yet to say the modern society's definition of true happiness, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean? And it's just simply not good enough. The man in the basement is an enigma. He is the human embodiment of an enigma. He is a man trying to create and send a message of how to escape the confines of prison and being trapped inside the normal comprehension of human emotion. The balance between joy, depression, melancholy, depression, fear. I just said depression 2 times there. And true happiness. He cannot accept that true happiness, at least the way he feels it, is the best and highest form of happiness that the human mind can achieve. The 3 lights symbolize an upward stairway for the emotional mind, emotional intelligence followed by an ascension to a high state of feeling and sustained happiness. I mean, the man's crazy, but can you really blame him? Parasite also touches upon schizophrenia is in some thoughts and offers a quick window into what it might be like to suffer from the disorder. The definition of schizophrenia simply means a breakdown between thought, reason, and emotion. Funnily enough, this movie is split into 3 genres: absurd, surreal, comedy, and drama. The movie feels oddly split, which is a purposeful directing choice, which is the most obvious thing that you can take away from this movie. The film could have been called Split to me, and it still would not have lost any of its impact, but unfortunately, Split has already been taken to M. Night Shyamalan. Something as a parasite is formed in this movie, but I still don't know what it is. I'm clueless of what this parasite is. But the movie Parasite is going to be one of those movies that's going to become exponentially better the more times you watch it, which will not lose its interest, charm, or unique appeal with its repeated viewings. The film truly feels multi-dimensional in direction and communication of its ideas, that leaves massive room for the viewer to make their own interpretation of the so-called ideas and messages in the film. The movie, to me, has a very enigmatic feel, reminiscing of certain video games like Myst, Riven, Portal, and Abduction. Parasite is an experience that is going to mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Anyway, what do I think of this movie? 10 out of 10. To me, this is minimalistic yet multi-dimensional filmmaking at its absolute finest, and I really have no issues or gaping flaws that I have to say about it. It's pretty much as perfect as a modern movie gets and transcends so much that came before it. I loved it. I loved every single goddamn minute of it, and I don't understand what I've watched or even why I enjoyed it so much in the way I did. If you didn't enjoy it, that's totally fine as well. It's one of those movies that's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and that is also okay. But to me, Parasite is the next step, as we're beginning to experience a new advent in visual storytelling. This does feel like merely a prototype that will be improved and expanded, like Undertale, upon by Bong Joon-ho. If anyone who might be reading this who worked on the movie, well done, I mean it. Anyway, just watch it if you have not already. It will be one of the fastest and most interesting 2 hours you will have this year. Watch it without the subtitles first, and then watch it with the subtitles on. Also try to watch it in a theatre with Dolby Atmos if you get the chance. I currently have not, but I'm sure I'll see it in a theatre somewhere, since this hasn't been officially yet theatrically released in my country that I live in. Also, I might have missed out. Maybe it was shown in Australia and I just didn't see it. Or maybe it hasn't been released yet in Australia, which I will see it. Also, I want a Parasite-themed rock birthday cake, because I want to smash my head into a birthday cake that looks like the Parasite rock. Whatever that means. Anyway, I also kind of feel like this film is about autism as well. I mean, I felt like the kid in the film is autistic because, he's inside a tent and shining a light. Probably because he's trapped inside himself and he's trying to connect by shining a light, using a thing to connect to somebody else emotionally. I also believe that every single child that's born is born autistic until they believe they're not. And that's all I'm going to say. I'll see you soon.